Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel, the Microbiology Digest. So we are discussing the topics of immunology. Again, I'm back with a new topic, very essential, and it is very much important to understand about the adjuvants. Adjuvants. So today we'll be discussing about the adjuvants. So I'm Dr. DP Bora. So I welcome you all to my today's discussion and hope you will be benefited from today's discussion. So our today's discussion will be on adjuvants. So now what is an adjuvant? So adjuvant, the term adjuvant actually it is coming from a Latin word wherefrom the term adjuvant has been taken. It is the adjuvare, means to help or to assist. So from this term itself we can understand the role of these substances in the immunology. So by definition, adjuvants are the substances when we mix them with an antigen and inject, they can enhance the immunogenicity of an antigen. That is the definition of an adjuvant. So this term adjuvant was first used by one scientist. His name was Roman, and he used this term for the first time in the year 1926. So these adjuvants in the context of immunology, it is used mostly in both in research as well as clinical settings, and the main purpose of these substances are to boost the immune response. So when we use adjuvants, so there may be two probable situations. First one is the when there is the antigen with a low immunogenicity. When antigens are having low immunogenicity, then we can use them with adjuvants. Then when a very small amount of antigens are available with us, then we can use them with adjuvants. Okay, so adjuvants, when we use them along with the antigens, it will increase or enhance the immunogenicity of the antigen. So whatever may be the substance, when we use these substances as adjuvants, it will exert its effect through one of these four effects. First, it can prolong the persistence of the antigen. If the antigen persistence is prolonged, then there may be more vigorous immune response will be generated. Then second is the co-stimulatory signals are enhanced by adjuvants. Means, as we have already discussed, the immune response, it is a highly regulated phenomenon, and it requires numbers of signals as well as co-stimulatory signals, and if these co-stimulatory signals are enhanced, then the immunogenicity, the resultant immunogenicity will also be enhanced. So adjuvants, they may enhance the co-stimulatory signals in order to enhance the immunogenicity of the antigen. Then third one, the adjuvants will help to increase the local inflammation. So we have already discussed inflammation is one of the sequel of the immune response. So adjuvants will increase the local inflammation. Then fourth one is the non-specific activation of lymphocytes will be activated or stimulated. So, by this way, the adjuvants may aid or help in increasing the or enhancing the immunogenicity of an antigen. Now, all substances are not adjuvants, or we cannot use all the substances as adjuvants. So, there must be some criteria. So, whenever we select an adjuvant, we should be able to select the ideal one. But how to select those ideal adjuvants? There must be some characteristics or criteria. So, what are the criteria? First, it should be safe and it should be free from immediate and long-term side effects. So, when we select a particular substance to be used as an adjuvant, it should be free from immediate or long-term side effects. Means it should be safe enough for the host. Then secondly, it should be defined biologically and chemically. Then only we will be able to select and we will be able to understand the mechanism by which it can exert its action. Then it should elicit a more robust protective immune response when used in combination with an antigen in comparison to the situation when we use antigens alone. Means if antigen and the adjuvants are mixed and injected, it should elicit a more robust or more vigorous immune response in comparison to the situation when we inject the antigen alone. Then number four is the it should be preferably inexpensive. It should be preferably inexpensive. Then it should be biodegradable and it should be easily excreted from the body after its effects. Then it should have a shelf life of at least 2 years and be stable. And efficiency should be achieved when even we use these substances in a very low concentration. If a substance they possess these characteristics, then we can classify them as ideal adjuvant. Now, how to classify the adjuvants? Adjuvants are classified in many ways. General classification: originally the adjuvants were classified based on the origin, but in the year 1997, one scientist, Robert Edelman, who was working on different aspects of adjuvants, he proposed that adjuvants should be classified based on their mechanism of action. So he classified adjuvants into four different groups. Number one, aluminum and calcium salts, bacterial and plant products, surface active agents, and the polyanions. These four were the different groups of adjuvants classified by Robert Edelman. But a more comprehensive classification of adjuvants was earlier proposed by another scientist called Woodard in the year 1990. So he proposed to classify the adjuvants based on the physical characteristics. So based on this, he classified all the adjuvants into three principal groups. Number one, surfactants. Number two is vesicle adjuvants. And number three is water-soluble adjuvants and its derivatives. First group of adjuvants classified was the surfactants. So surfactants, again, it can be further subdivided into different groups or subgroups. First group is the inorganic surfactants. So example of this subgroup is aluminum hydroxide. It is commonly used inorganic surfactant type of adjuvant. Then second subgroup is the natural organic surfactants and its derivatives. So example of this group is trehalose dimycolate, LPS or lipopolysaccharide, and lipidae, and the saponin, or it is also called as QLA. Now third group or subgroup of surfactants, it includes the synthetic organic surfactants. Again, these synthetic organic surfactants, we can group them into four different types. Number one, cationic aliphatic nitrogenous bases. For example, it is the DDA. The non-ionic surfactants, for example, the block copolymers, fatty acids, and esters. Then the lipopeptides and lipid conjugates. Then the last one is the sulfolipopolysaccharides. Next major group is the vesicle adjuvants. So under vesicle adjuvants, again there are different subdivisions. First type is the water in oil emulsions. Water in oil emulsions. So for example, two types of commonly used adjuvants comes under this. One is French complete adjuvants and French incomplete adjuvants. Both comes under water in oil emulsion type of adjuvant. Then oil in water emulsions. Again, commonly used adjuvants under this group is Rev adjuvant formulation, then Syntex adjuvant formulation, Lipovan, etc. These are examples of oil in water emulsion type of adjuvants. Then third type is the liposomes. Fourth type is the immunostimulatory complexes, or in short they are called as ISCOMs. Then last one is the other particulate systems. Then third major type, water soluble adjuvants and their derivatives. So under this, for example, we have the MDP, cholera toxin, some cytokines, etc. So this is a very illustrative classification of adjuvants given by Woodward in the year 1990. Now, very recent classification of adjuvants, it considers mainly the mechanism of action of the adjuvants, and based on this, adjuvants are classified mainly into two types. One is delivery systems, they are also called as particulate type of adjuvants, and the second types are called as immunopotentiators, or they are also called as immunostimulatory agents. So third type of recent classification of adjuvants are also there. They are called as mucosal adjuvants, but they includes those classes of compounds which can fit both of the previously discussed categories. Now, if we classify based on the mechanism of action, so delivery systems, there may be three subtypes. Mineral salts, number one. It includes the aluminum salts and calcium phosphate. Second type is lipid particles. It includes the incomplete fluence adjuvants, MF59. This is again another one type of adjuvant. Then third type of delivery system is the microparticles. Microparticles include all adjuvants, for example, VLPs or virus-like particles, virosomes, PLA, PLG, all these type of adjuvants, they comes under microparticles. Then second major group of adjuvants are immunopotentiators. Immunopotentiators, for example, it includes the double-stranded RNA, polyice, LPS, flagellin, all these these type of adjuvants, they comes under the immunopotentiators. Then third type, as I said, the mucosal adjuvants, they includes the cholera toxin, heat labile enterotoxins, cytosan. These all comes under the mucosal type of adjuvants. Now, how these adjuvants they exert their action? Means what is the mechanism of action of these adjuvants? So adjuvants they act by different ways. So some of the ways through which adjuvants may exert their action. So for example, they may retain and release antigen slowly from the site of injection. This mechanism of action is also otherwise known as the depot effect of the adjuvants. So what happens here? So at the site of injection, the antigens are retained for longer time and it will be slowly released from the site of injection. Okay. So this type of mechanism of action is also otherwise called as depot effect. Then secondly, it may activate the pattern recognition receptors, PRRs. So we have already discussed what are the PRRs. So activation of PRRs also enhances the development of immune response. Then third mechanism is they may introduce the antigen to the appropriate in vivo microenvironment. Means antigen presentation and processing is very essential to mount a vigorous immune response. So adjuvants, when we use, they may introduce the antigen in such a way that it is easily processed and presented by the antigen presenting cells. Then fourth, they may recruit and activate antigen presenting cells and other lymphoid cells. Then last one, they may activate the complement. They induce synthesis, secretion and binding of different cytokines. So whatever may be the adjuvants, they will be exerting their effects by one of these mechanism of action. Now, what is the advantage? Why we are using adjuvants? So adjuvants, they increase the potency of small and antigenically weak antigens. So when antigens are weak and they are not antigenically active, so use of adjuvants will increase the potency of these type of antigens. And when we use the adjuvant, so it lowers the dose of the antigen. The number three, adjuvants, they can enhance the speed, vigor, and the persistence of the immune response. These are advantages. It increases the immune response to vaccines in immunologically immature, immunocompromised, or old age individuals. Adjuvants may modulate the antibody avidity, affinity, and quantity. Then lastly, adjuvants may select or modulate the humoral or CMI response against that particular antigen. So these are some of the advantages of using adjuvants along with the antigen. But although we have studied many advantages of using adjuvants, there may be some disadvantages too. So for example, in some cases, adjuvants may have some local or chronic inflammatory responses. Some host or some individuals, they may develop anaphylaxis against some of the adjuvants. There may be some systemic toxicity. There may be some immune suppression. Some of the adjuvants may have the property of carcinogenesis or abortigenesis or teratogenic properties. So if these properties are there in a substance, So we should not use such substances as adjuvants, and we should always be able to select the most appropriate or suitable adjuvants which will actually increase or enhance the immunogenicity of the antigen. So this is all about in a nutshell about adjuvants. I hope these informations are helpful to you. If you find these are helpful, please subscribe to my channel and give your comments. And your comments will definitely help me to collect more and more informations on such topics. And I hope you will be benefited from these informations. And with this, thank you very much.